Hey guys, long time no see. CJ with Georgia Astronomy back. Quick video on Astro Pixel processor on processing your Ha-OIII duo filters with a one-shot color camera in order to get SHO effects. So I'm not going to go through the whole process of loading the frames and doing all that. I've already done that for you. Just remember, start at tab 0. Run your HA, extract HA, and then go back and add your HA, extract O3. And then you'll come up with your two files, which is our hydrogen alpha and our O3. So if you go into tools, you're going to go to combine RGB. Don't bother choosing any of these, just stick with RGB. I just use RGB1. Load our HA into red. And then our O3 is going to be for green and blue. That's my dog huffing in the background here. Sorry about that. All right, if we calculate it as it is, this is typically what you're going to get when you're shooting the duo narrowband. For some people, that's great. We are shooting the Heart Nebula, so it's kind of fitting. But if you're looking more for an SHO kind of a look from it without shooting the sulfur, this is just kind of a quick way to do it. So let me go over here. And what we're going to start with first is we're going to tone down this red a little bit. So I'm going to take the, basically this is your impact, how much of an impact your color is making, or I guess the stretch for it, not sure the exact term. But we're going to take that down to about 80, hit calculate, toned it down just a little bit. I'm going to bring my green channel up. So red and green make yellow. And there's a method to my madness here in just a second. I'll show you what it's going to happen. So now we're going to get a more yellow image. I'm also going to now go to green, and I'm going to bring the green channel up, the multiplier up to about 2. And the way I figured this out, guys, was just trial and error. Just lots of trial and error until I figured it out. It's taking a little bit too long. There we go. Let's get it back down because I like dealing with whole numbers. Calculate it. Now it's putting a little bit of a green cast on it. That's fine. It's kind of what we wanted. And I'm going to go down to blue, and I'm going to bring the multiplier up to about 3. I'm going to try to get there around 3. Yeah, I'll have to do the sliders. You can always use your arrow keys when you're trying to make finite adjustments. You don't have to use your mouse. All right, we calculate that. Should be pulling up some blues. There we go. Now we're starting to get a little somewhere. Now I'm going to go back and adjust my luminance. So if you want to know what the luminance does, you can do huge drastic changes. Just hit calculate. It'll show you what you're doing. So in this particular case, I'm only going to come up to about 10. And what I'm trying to do here is kind of bring in more of these golds. Right now it's looking a little orange, but that's fine. I'm going to bring my green also up to about 10. Hit calculate. There we go. Kind of get a little deeper hue. And then on the blue, because I got a lot of good oxygen in there and I want to see it, present it, I'm going to bring that up to about 25. And I'll get something about like that. So make sure you have a saturation key ticked over here. Otherwise, if you don't, it's very muted. You can't see what you're doing. And when you're happy with the effects from your sliders, then you can go ahead and hit save. And then we're going to hit cancel. I'm going to pull this image back up again. And now I'm going to take it into HSL selective color. And then here, I'm going to start on my red tab. So of course you have your colors here you can work off of. So I'm going to start in red. And on the red tab, I'm going to bring this up to 50. My goal is to get more of a gold color here than an orange. So we're going to take the red up to about 50. Calculate the current adjustments just to see what I'm doing. Now we're kind of getting more into the orange. And then I'm going to offset that by coming down to the yellow slider, still in red, but I'm just coming down to yellow, and I'm going to bring that up to about 50 as well. And now I've got my gold color, my nice golds around there, and my blues are still good. Drop down into the cyan, and we're going to pump that over just a little bit. Let's say about 50. You're not going to see much of a difference, but there'll be a little bit. Oh, whoop, I'm sorry. I lied. Let me take that back down to about 5. That's better. That's what I was trying to do. And we'll go to the blue channel, and I'm going to pump that up just a little bit. Let's take that up to, let's start with 40, see what it looks like. There we go. It kind of brought up a little bit around the edges here. And now, if we blow this up, you'll see I've got a lot of magenta that's floating around in here. And if you're wanting to take this more to an SHO style, if you go to magenta, you're going to take the opposite of magenta, which is green, and you're going to move your green slider over until you start taking it out and start getting more of a green hue in the magenta areas. So it came out a little bit. Let's take it up to about 50. Calculate that. All right, now the majority of the magenta is gone, so now I want to try to add in a little bit more green. So we're then going to take this up to about, let's go small, let's go 60. All right, almost all the magenta is gone. Let's take it up to about 75. And again, I'm working on the magenta color channel, but I'm adjusting for green. There we go. Now you're starting to see the green hues, so you're kind of getting more into a Hubble palette. We've got the golds, we've got the greens, and we've got the blues. If you want to see an extreme version of this, just pump up the slider, and you'll get the full-on color tilt. There we go. And at that point, you pretty much have an SHO image. This is not what I'm really going for on this particular project. I am going to be coming back and doing RGB stars. So I will be showing a video on how to split your channels and how to do that and combine it so that you can do Ha-OIII along with RGB stars. So I want a little bit of magenta, not a lot, just a little bit. And that's going to be my starting piece when I go back to start doing the rest of the project here. If you do want a little bit more red, you can pump it up. What I would suggest is when you're at this point is keep your current adjustments. That's going to reset all your sliders back to 0. And then from there, you can start to increase your reds. If you're trying to add more red to the picture, a little bit more broader. It's a little bit too much for me, to be honest with you. Probably take about 10. Click adjustment. There, that lightened it up a little bit. And then you can also adjust your saturation. So just remember, small saturation makes huge jumps, huge differences. There we go. That's a little bit more to what I'm looking for. So with that, I'm going to save it off. And then from this point, cancel the tool. And then when I go back into it, here's where I'm at. At this point, I would go in and remove the light pollution. Get rid of all that. Remember, when you're doing light pollution, just make small squares in the black areas. Try to avoid stars and nebulosity. We're just looking for little tiny, some dark nebulosity that's right there, but that's okay. Basically just trying to get all of this off. And again, you would only do this if this is your final image. You're not going to be doing any combining with it, but again, I am going to be doing some of that. As soon as the skies clear up again, we will be back out in the backyard with the telescope. There we go. So that's pretty much it right there. We'll be coming back here with probably by next weekend, and I'll have the second video put up on how to combine RGB stars with a duo band filter. All right, guys. Hope y'all have a great weekend.